we are live. Welcome to Matchcast and welcome to joining us on Facebook Live video. And today we're going to be talking about the new Facebook Live as well as the general topic of Facebook video. What's going on, Chris?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Very meta Facebook Live video about Facebook video. Something that we use a lot here at Matchnode, not necessarily live, but we're doing a lot of video promotion for clients. It's a tool and a medium that Facebook has really prioritized over the past few years. We're going to talk about that evolution a bit, where it is now, what we're using for it now, and some of the current kind of on the edge discussions that are happening about issues surrounding Facebook video.
Absolutely. So let's rewind a little bit and talk about the beginning of video on Facebook. And in the early days, it really relied on YouTube. And people were still uploading their videos to YouTube and just sharing clips on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, it was like first Facebook said, make sure if you're running an ad, you have an image in your ad, and it's not just a text ad. So an image ad is going to be shown in the feed more readily and for a cheaper price than a text ad. And then they're like, everybody's using image ads, and now they're like video ads. So you can't just link to YouTube. That was the first thing you were able to do. There was even an integration.
Yeah,
right?
and there was an integration, and at one point, sometimes you clicked on a screenshot of an image, and you got taken off Facebook to YouTube, which was the last thing that Facebook wanted.
Yeah, that was after they killed the integration.
Right. So then when they introduced Facebook video ads, for the first time, people could really understand a reason why they really wanted to upload videos to Facebook to get that native integration, as well as just that video quality on Facebook. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's just certain things, if you're a company or a brand or an individual and you're telling a story or wanting to put a message out into the world, video just captures things in a depth that you just can't get with a still image. So you're right that it really became something that you couldn't avoid once Facebook said, the best way to reach people for the cheapest CPM is video.
Right.
And once they said that, they also said, and you know what? You have to upload that video to Facebook.
Right.
It had, and that was a great kind of shot across the bow to YouTube.
Right. And this was pre-earnings calls, but if you listen to Facebook announcements about the company, about the platform, it really gives you some insight into where ads are going and where they're going next. And they started talking about reaching this goal of having more video uploaded to Facebook on a daily basis versus YouTube. And once they really prioritized that, the train was off and running. And then really the next big game change was when they started actually putting videos on autoplay on a mobile phone, which was just a huge, huge shift.
Yeah, for sure. And that was, Facebook was a newly public company at that point, right. And they were getting hammered because it's like, oh, you make all this money, but it's all on desktop. What are you going to do for mobile? And video was one of the things that Zuckerberg and Facebook prioritized to say, this works on mobile.
Sure. And right along when they started to introduce things on mobile and on autoplay, they also started to introduce them on mute. So one of the first early big advertising tricks was to make sure that your video had captions on Facebook.
Yeah, captions are big blocks of text that would jump out and give, the 5 key points of the video.
Which are still really, really important.
Yeah.
So actually recently, Facebook realized that captions were so important and so important to engagement, they actually released a tool for transcribing the process.
It kind of automatically transcribes the video when you upload it. It says, do you want captions on this?
So you can give you tools to do the same for Facebook Live.
Which was a more recent release. So
another big, huge change to Facebook and ads within video was audiences and creating videos within an audience from a video. And that directly related to time. One of the first things that people started to realize as a trick within Facebook is that they wanted to make their videos short and snappy, maybe 30 seconds, 60 seconds to really sell their product similar to a traditional TV ad. However, with the creation of audiences, things started to blur a little bit. So let's talk about audiences and what they are.
Yeah, well, audiences was, now we have fast forwarded to 2016, to early 2016,
Sure.
They started to roll this out. Facebook videos, like throughout the news feed, they're auto playing, like you said. because it was auto playing on mute and people are just flipping through their feeds. You had to capture somebody in like 4 seconds. You had to get their attention. And to your point, audiences kind of has changed that a little bit, in that audiences are just what they sound like. You can create a segment of people or a group of people based on actions that they take on your website, just like retargeting. Or in this case, Facebook says, let's create an audience of people who've watched your video, and then you can show those people another ad. To take that one step deeper, very importantly, you can, at first it was if somebody watched 95% of your video. So essentially if they watch all of your video, then you can show them an ad. So the idea would be you're introducing your product to the world. Maybe it's a new brand or a new concept. People don't know about it yet. Video is a great way to introduce people at the top of the funnel to a concept or a new brand that you want them to learn about. A lot of people, especially with 3-second views in the news feed as people are flipping through and they're not really stopping to watch it, that you can lose a little bit of the track there. You can lose a little bit of the ability to have that be useful until you can start to segregate. I'm interested in the people who watched all of the video. And they deepen that. Facebook has this pattern where they release something, it's cool, and then you're like, 95%, I wish we could do 75%. Such a small percentage of people were not actually watching 95% of some of the videos.
Maybe they're at the gym and it got cut off because their Wi-Fi turned off. So there's a huge chunk of people that watch 75% of your video. They knew enough that they probably took it off autoplay. They watched it for 20, 30, and that also depends on how long is your video.
Right.
You can literally run an ad with a 10-minute video, and if someone watches 75% of that video, they're probably pretty interested in your product.
Right, and so that's the idea. They show that they're interested by watching your video deeper than most, and then you can take those people who watch that video to that depth and show them a different ad. So now you're starting to daisy chain an experience of they've seen the video, you think that they're interested because they watched most of the video, and then now you show them maybe a call to action ad to bring them to the site to buy the thing.
So right as we started to make our videos longer and longer, realizing that we can create an audience to show exactly how interested in they are, Facebook rolled out another huge change, and that was the introduction of Instagram ads and Instagram video. And Instagram video actually limits you to only 60 seconds. So then publishers had to weigh things a little bit. Do I want to create a separate video for Instagram and a separate video for Facebook? Which is frankly what I'd recommend in 95% of the scenarios. But sometimes companies want to get it out there really quick and are just cutting 60-second ads so you can fit on both platforms with that same Facebook targeting.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing I would interject here is that the video still needs to be a little bit different than maybe something you're using on YouTube or something that's on your company website. So one thing that we're doing a lot of and is pretty efficient is you can just rework the footage you already have with some small tweaks, whether it's length, whether it's putting more words that are kind of jumping out at the viewer to catch people's attention, or if they might be watching on mute. You can rework your existing footage with small dollars to edit it so that it's appropriate for Facebook. And as you can hear, we're now going through only like a year and a half of time of all these different tools that Facebook is releasing to make video more and more usable from an advertising perspective.
Right. So with the introduction of Instagram, then there became one big game change that Facebook didn't control, and that was Snapchat. And it's really become their first competitor in the social space since the early days of Twitter when they were running neck and neck. Facebook has really been the undisputed king for quite some time, and Snapchat's quite a blow to them. So it's led them to prioritize a couple of new products. The first one is Facebook Live.
Yeah, so live video is, you can see many people, including these big social networks, whether Twitter, Facebook, and now Snapchat, which is native to video, that live video is the future.
Sure.
And Facebook Live is now, and this is another pattern that Facebook has as an advertiser, as somebody who advises and executes ads for businesses on Facebook. You kind of have to be out there on whatever the new thing is that they say you should be doing. You have to move there first before the masses do, because that's where the cheaper CPMs are, that's where the
cheaper clicks are,
that's where you get...
And that's also where the organic reach is.
And so that's where you get results that are a bit more of a breakout than what you can get on the thing that everybody's already doing now. Now, for a lot of businesses, running an image ad for Facebook is really successful and can be awesome. But for a lot of people who are looking for that thing that's a little bit more cost efficient, you have to be doing the new thing. So now that's Facebook Live Video. It is definitely an answer to Snapchat. We saw Instagram stories roll out. That's exactly like Snapchat's use case. It's definitely a rip off of Snapchat, and not the first time or the last time probably that Facebook has done that. And they also, of course, they tried to buy Snapchat.
Absolutely.
And did
And
not.
that was very public. So you really saw where things are going. And to my earlier point about literally listening to an earnings call or listening to the statements that they're putting out there publicly, you literally see commercials and billboards going up to promote Facebook Live. You know that's where they want you to go. You know they're going to give you that space at a cheaper rate because less people are there. So you want to go to that edge. And I remember the first time I went live on Facebook, it was at a Cubs game, and I immediately started having my newsfeed pummeled with likes, comments like, what is this? Why are you live? Why are you just going to alert that you're going live? I knew immediately that's because Facebook's want to prioritize that new thing and then optimize their algorithm that way. And you can see the exact same thing with Instagram versus Snapchat. And unless you really are at a younger demographic, for especially people our age, Chris, and most of the people that people are advertising to, if you run Instagram story and the same snap at people and look at your statistics, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see that greater organic reach on Instagram because it takes advantage of that Facebook friend graph.
For sure. And then, you know, as far as the next thing goes, and we talked about this to a would-be client that was doing some actually live 360 video at the political conventions for the Democrats and the Republicans. And what we were coming across was they had this awesome live feed that they want as many people to see as possible. How do we be sure? How can we put ad dollars, small ad dollars, behind it so that more people see it? And you can't really promote live video yet. But there was just an article and an announcement made, I think last week. We'll put the link to it in the show notes, and we're now in late November of 2016, but there was an article put out last week where Facebook is going to allow you to promote live video. So say you're a company, you have an event, you have a bunch of people that are speakers, you get an output, you can't yet, but you will be able to put dollars behind it so more people see it. So you're doing a real-time promotion.
And those likes you've built up over the years, and that following you've built up on Facebook, you're again able to take advantage of that with that organic feed.
It's a major complaint from kind of novice users of Facebook from a business sense that organic reach is gone. Well, this is how you can get organic reach.
Absolutely. Another great thing you can do with the Facebook Live video is actually it then records. The chances are that most people watching us right now, there will be more people watching it after the fact.
Right.
You can actually embed that video on your blog. You can then make your blog Facebook instant story compatible, instant articles compatible, and then run a second ad at that video on your blog or using that video embedded in the feed. There's a lot of different ways you can repurpose it, the same way we talk about creating a specific video and repurposing it to Facebook or Instagram.
And we've actually seen that exact thing with a client where we've created videos, they've created videos to sell a particular product, and that's worked pretty well. The person, the face of the business, has now created Facebook Live videos, and while I don't know how much impact it's had for people seeing it live, we've repurposed that live video as an ad, and we're getting cost per sale that's very competitive, if not lower, than all of the other very optimized ad formats that we're using, whether it's image ads or the other video ads that I referenced. So we're seeing results where Facebook Live video as an ad that's being repurposed in the way Brian mentioned is outperforming.
Sure.
And it's all about Facebook's algorithm. They want Facebook Live out there. They want Facebook Live video out there. And so if you want to be successful on Facebook, especially for certain businesses, this is something to really consider and use. And I would imagine maybe in 2-3 years time, or maybe even sooner, there's going to be so many people on Facebook Live because the results are good, that there'll be some other thing.
Nice things. It's probably VR and AR.
Yeah,
but,
live VR and AR.
That's going to come into Oculus. That's going to come into 360-degree video. But that's probably a topic for another day.
It's definitely a topic for another podcast, and it brings us back to kind of the final point that's been a thread through this, which is competition with Snapchat. You see Snapchat spectacles. I was thinking about this when you were talking about advertising. On my walk to work in kind of just northwest of Chicago Loop, there is a big Snapchat spectacles billboard, and then right next to it, there's a Facebook Live billboard. and all of the bus stops here all have the Facebook Live videos now.
I almost bought a pair on eBay yesterday.
So we're going to continue to see, I think, Snapchat and Facebook compete very seriously with all these different competing features and for advertisers' dollars and for consumer eyeballs.
And frankly, it's great for advertisers to have more open platforms where they can compete and try to reach their customers in new and interesting ways.
And in order to get, like we said, in order to get the best results, you need to be using, if you're on Facebook, you need to be using the latest and best tools that they're telling you to use. They're telling you that the algorithm is prioritizing these things. So it's only silly to not do that if you're trying to get the best return on investment that you can for a client or for an ad.
So to kind of recap a little bit and close things off, one, if you haven't tried video, you should definitely be repurposing your existing video footage and trying it on Facebook. Make sure you're using captions and get some stuff out there and try to start to see those early results. Two, you definitely want to be optimizing for all the different platforms, Instagram, Facebook, creating audiences off your videos. And then three, again, like Chris was just mentioning, always be looking for that edge and moving to where Facebook or Snapchat or even YouTube are telling you where to go next to spend those ad dollars wisely and get outsized returns.
Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. And Brian, we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Talk to you guys soon. Cheers, everybody.